So here I came up with 10 very important Spring Framework interview questions, and few of them which actually I uh, got asked by interviewer in client interview and job interview. So let's start with the Spring Framework interview questions, and few of the questions which actually asked by the interviewer or you might face during your client interview or job interview. So these are the very common questions which you should know, or if you already know, then you just you can see the question and you try to answer by yourself by pausing this video, and then you can look at the answers what I have provided. So thank you guys, let's start. And if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. So let's move to the first question of the Spring Framework. Of the very basic, I have covered only the Spring core questions. So yeah, let's start. So the first question is, which interviewer will ask what is a Spring Framework if you are a fresher. So then answer should be, it's a very short answer. If you give this short answer, I think that would be the great, or you can uh, answer in your way. Okay, so Spring is the most broadly used framework for the development of Java Enterprise Edition applications. The core features of Spring can be used in developing any Java application. We can use its extensions for building various web applications on top of the Jakarta Enterprise Edition platform, or may we may just use its dependency injection provisions in simple standalone applications. Next question is, what are the benefits of using Spring? So again, if you know the answer, you can remind that in your mind by pausing this video, or you can just refer this what I have provided. So Spring targets to make enterprise edition development easier, and here are the advantages of using it. First one is it's a lightweight, so there is a slight overhead of using framework in development. Second one is inversion of control. So Spring Container takes care of writing, wiring dependencies of various objects instead of creating or looking for dependent objects. Third one, aspect oriented programming, supports AOP to separate business logic from the system services, like the logging things which you don't want to include in the business logic, etc. IOC container, it manages Spring Bean lifecycle and project specific configuration. MVC framework, that is used to create web application or RESTful web services capable of returning XML or JSON response. Model view controller, you get a view in the with response. Transaction management reduces the amount of boilerplate code in JDBC configuration file. And the last is exception handling, which Spring provides a convenient API for translating technology specific exceptions into unchecked exceptions. Let's move to the next question. What Spring subprojects do you know? Describe them briefly. So first one is Spring Core, a key module that provides fundamental parts of the framework like inversion of control or dependency injection. Second is JDBC. This module enables the JDBC abstraction layer that removes the need to do JDBC coding for specific vendor databases. Third one is ORM integration, provides integration layer for popular object relational mapping APIs such as JPA, JDO, and Hibernate. Third is Spring Web, a web-oriented integration module providing multi-part file upload, servlet listener, and web-oriented application context functionalities. Fourth one is MVC framework, web module implementing the model view controller design pattern. And third one is AOP module. So that implementation allowing the definition of clean method interception point cut. Let's move to the next question. So what is dependency injection? Why I marked is in red color, because I have been asked this question from interviewer once. So answer is dependency injection, an aspect of inversion of control, is a general concept stating that you do not create your object manually, but instead describe how they should be created. An IOC will instantiate required classes if needed. Let's move to the next question. How can we inject beans in Spring? So a few different options exist. First one is setter injection, second one is constructor injection, and field injection. And configuration can be done using XML files or annotations. So question number 6, which is the best way to injecting beans and why? So the recommended approach is to use constructor argument for mandatory dependencies and setters for optional ones. Constructor injection allows injecting values to immutable fields and make testing easier. Now the list. Again, this question was asked uh, to me. What is the difference between bin factory and application context? So bin factory is an interface representing a container that provides and manages bin instances. The default implementation instantiates bins lazily when git bean is called. And second, application context is an interface representing a container holding all information, metadata, and beans in the application. It also extends the bin. The default implementation instantiate bin eagerly when the application starts. Thus, the behavior can be overridden for individual beans. Next question, what is Spring Bean? So Spring Beans are just like a Java object, but it is initialized by Spring IOC container when you define the bean definition using the XML configuration. Next is, what is the default bean scope in the Spring framework? So by default, Spring Bean is initialized as a singleton. Again, this question was asked to me from an interviewer, so that's why I highlighted in red. How to define the scope of a bean? To set Spring Bean's scope, we can use @scope annotation or scope attribute in XML configuration files. There are 5 supported scopes: singleton, prototype, request, session, global session. So again, interviewer might ask you what is singleton, then you can answer like Spring gives you bean, and if it is their scope is singleton, it means you will get only one object throughout the session. So if their scope is prototype, it means you request a bin from a Spring container, it will always create a new instance. The request, session, and global session, it depend on it. It's for the HTTP request. Again, session is for HTTP session, and global session is for HTTP global session. So yeah, thank you. If you really find it very informative and useful, please you can subscribe this channel. Thanks.